Good afternoon, Year 10 Literature, and welcome to your mini lesson for Thursday. The learning focus we have for today is for you to be able to write a comparative paragraph using the 6-step method. And in order to do this, we're going to be using this worksheet that I gave you today. So today's still Wednesday for me, but for you, it'll be yesterday. And we're going to focus on comparing one character between the film version of The Great Gatsby and the novel. And so the character I'll be focusing on in this mini lesson is Maya Wolfsheim from the novel Great Gatsby. So I've just gone through and I've watched the Prezi about him, and I've also gone and looked at movie clips on YouTube just to get some more quotes and evidence from the film itself, so I can compare this character in the book to the character in the movie. So here's what I've written down on my worksheet. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see it a bit clearly. So in the film, he's played by an Indian actor. He's very well groomed, and they meet him in a barber shop, and here are some quotes that he says. In the film, however, he's based on a real-life Jewish gangster named Arnold Rothstein, and he's described in the following ways. He's described as a small, flat-nosed Jew with a large head and two fine growths of hair luxuriating from either nostril. And I've made a point here that this was written in the 1920s, and that's important because that means that it was written before World War II, which of course was an event with the Holocaust that made anti-Semitism much more abhorrent and less acceptable. Okay, so underneath this, just like me, you should have a spot to write a compare and contrast essay. And I'm going to teach you how to do this in 7 steps. So at the end of this essay paragraph, sorry, it's not a whole essay, just this paragraph, should be 7 sentences long. Okay, so how to do this. The first sentence that we want to write is basically like a topic sentence. The only difference here, whereas when we write a topic sentence in a regular text response essay, we just mention one author and we're talking about one text. In this case, we want to mention both the author's name, so Scott F. Fitzgerald, and the director's name, Baz Luhrmann, and then we want to introduce what we're talking about here. So here I want to say that Baz Luhrmann has intentionally changed Fitzgerald's character of Maya Wolfsheim in order to suit a modern audience. So I've got that already done here. So I'll copy and paste that across, and I'll read it out to you. One way Baz Luhrmann adapts characters from Fitzgerald's 1920s novel The Great Gatsby is through casting the character Maya Wolfsheim. So it's as simple as that. We don't want to give away too much information in our topic sentence because we want to save that for our quotes and analysis. Okay, so step 2. Step 2, I want to start using evidence from the novel. So just like a teal paragraph where we go topic sentence, evidence, analysis, link, we're doing the same thing, but we're going to do evidence and analysis twice. That's why it's a lot longer. The reason I start with the novel first is for a few reasons. The first thing is because obviously the novel was written earlier in the 1920s, so it's good to look at the original source material first. And that gives me a bit of room to talk about the fact that Baz Luhrmann made intentional creative decisions to change that original source material in order to suit a modern audience. So it's important that I talk about Baz Luhrmann's decisions second, and I can refer back to the novel. Okay, so looking at the novel, I'm going to use these quotes that I recorded down up here. So if we look at the novel, I'm going to try to combine all 3 of these quotes together in a sentence. And just like before, I've done this earlier, so I'm going to copy and paste that across. And I'll read it out to you. In the novel, Maya Wolfsheim is described as a small, flat-nosed Jew with a large head and 2 fine growths of hair luxuriating in either nostril. So you can see how I've put that all together in one sentence just by putting my own words in between each quote. And you can do that too if you want to adapt quotes to suit your writing. And so that's step 2. It's as easy as that. I just want to present my evidence from the novel. Step 3 gets a little bit more difficult. this is when I want to explain or analyze why Fitzgerald made these choices. So why did he include a Semitic character, and why was that okay considering his context? Okay, so I've got that sentence here in blue. So I'll copy that across. And it says, Fitzgerald based Wolfsheim on the Jewish American gangster Arnold Rothstein. So there's one reason why he would be shown as a Jew. But then I want to explain a little bit, even though he's a Jew, why is he portrayed so negatively? Why was that okay? And why would Fitzgerald have made that choice? So I've said, due to anti-Semitic sentiments of the 1920s, this sort of communicated that he was an unsavory character to Fitzgerald's readers. Okay, so what I mean by that was that because it was a common belief that Jewish people weren't good people in the 1920s, the mere mention that he was a Jew or that he had certain Jewish characteristics would have communicated to other anti-Semitic people around at the time straight away that he wasn't meant to be seen as a good character. Now, that means that there's more than one reason why Baz Luhrmann wouldn't make him a Jew. Not only is it not kind and it's not a good way to sell your movie by making it racist or anti-Semitic, but it also just wouldn't make sense, because today when we hear someone's Jewish, we don't automatically think that that means they're a bad person. So that opens up the possibility for me to say more in this paragraph. Now I'm up to step 4. So as you can see, each sentence is matching up with each step. And step 4 is what I like to call the glue sentence. Now, it doesn't always have to be a sentence all on its own. Sometimes it's just a simple word like there, however, or on the other hand. And that's what I like to call a connecting word or a contrasting word. So I want to use a word that's going to connect, in this case, the novel to the film. So I've used the phrase on the other hand. And I'll copy this across just to give you an example. All right. On the other hand, in Luhrmann's film adaptation, Wolfsheim is not depicted as a Jew at all. Okay, so there we go. I'm just connecting the film to the novel, and I'm stating the difference. Step 5 is going to be a repetition of step 2. I could almost highlight this in green as well, just to show you how this mirrors, and I might do that later. So now I just want to use quotes from the film, and I want to insert my film evidence to prove that this is true, to prove that they're not the same, the film and the novel. So I'll copy that across. Okay, and you can see I've done all the work here already. I just had to copy down the quotes from up here in the film into this sentence. So I've said, instead he's portrayed by an Indian actor, Amitabh Bachchan, and when the audience is first introduced to him, he is well-groomed and polite, stating, a wonderful pleasure, Mr. Carraway. And right now, before I go any further, I'm actually going to change this highlight. I'm going to change this color to green just so I can show you how this paragraph is kind of acting like a reflection. All right, and we want to put a full stop there. And then we're going to go into step 6. And this is when we do the same thing as step 3. We're analyzing the evidence, but with a little bit extra. So we're also going to be providing the true comparison. So this is the most important part of this paragraph, where we're not only explaining what the differences are, but we're putting in our own interpretation of why we think these differences exist. So as you get better and better at these, this will prove to be your longest and most complex sentence, because it's where really the bulk of your marks come in, because this is where you actually do the comparison. Oops, when meeting Nick. That is part of the green. We'll change that. Okay, this illustrates Luhrmann's intention to distance his film from anti-Semitism, making it more suitable for a modern audience. So that's where I have my why. So why is it different? To make it more suitable for a modern audience. What's more, Wolfsheim is not presented as unsavory until the men enter the speakeasy and his crime affiliations are revealed. Okay, and that I'm going to change as well to a blue color just to show you that I'm analyzing again. So evidence analysis is up here in steps 2 and 3, and then evidence and analysis is repeated in steps 5 and 6. And then step 7 already reflects step 1, as you can see, And this is where we link, just like in a regular Teal essay where we link back to the essay topic or the question that we've been given. We just want to link back to the main point we're making in this paragraph, which is that the character has been changed. The character has been adapted from the 1920s novel to the 2013 film. Okay. And this should be a quite short sentence. And as you can see here, I've used the word therefore to start it. Some other good words to start your linking sentences with include hence, thus, or indeed, all really good words to start that with because we're wrapping up our ideas. So therefore, Wolfsheim stands as an example for the 2013 film version of The Great Gatsby being changed to appeal to a 21st century audience. And it's as simple as that. So there you have it. You've got the 7 steps, and I will see you all tomorrow.